All right, everyone, we got an exciting pre-market going on. I'll talk to you about where we can expect things to go. We'll watch and see what exactly plays out. The price target for Nvidia, I got an update on that. The price target for Tesla. So my Nvidia stock price prediction, my Tesla stock price prediction. Wait until you see how they're going. Mind you, if you guys want to see this stuff before it hits YouTube, if you want to see my technicals, my buys and sells, there's a link down in the description. For the Discord, you can come on over and join me and the other community members, the other panel experts over there, and I'll tell you more about that in the meantime. I do want to get over to the charts though, so we're going to kick things off with the Qs. I talked in my video yesterday about having this gap to fill, and I want to keep pointing out, and keep reminding you about this area of chop that we're in, which is the previous all-time highs, or where they're found is up in here. So guys, we are into the weeds with these prices coming back, rallying back the way that they have. And then don't forget about this gap that's here. I want to remind you that most likely at some point in time, we're going to have to retest the floor, and we're looking for that next launching point. So for me, I think ideally seeing us fill that gap would be incredible, because if I put up the simple moving averages, take down the exponential, that happens to be just north of where we find the 200-day, and seeing that that 200-day is indeed the solid floor that we want it to be, that would set us up for that next launching point. That could give us even the next higher high out of that, and potentially even lead us to new all-time highs. We're going to have to watch as the information continues to play out. We have PPI coming up on Thursday. That's tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And then Michigan consumer sentiment on Friday. It's going to be an exciting couple of days. Sentiment should be up because the market's up. We'll watch for that. Inflation, we'll watch for that because of the deals that we've had with tariffs and stuff. It's potential that even that's subsided a little bit. And then also with PPI, it's been down in the negatives, or at least it was as of the last report. I expect that to come in pretty subdued as well. And I think that the market is just going to be like, yep, that's good, that checks out. And it's just going to carry on its way, hopefully in that bullish direction. We always want to watch the news. We always want to watch the updates. But as per the technicals right now, as we're getting near the overbought territory, what I would say is it's potential that we see the floor sometime come in soon. And I don't mean floor like a market bottom. What I mean is, well, we've tested where the ceiling is, and we're still finding that once we find out where that rejection comes in, that's when we start looking for the floor. Okay, ceiling found. Okay, where's the floor at? All right, now where do we go from here? It goes back and goes to retest for that next ceiling. So we'll watch and see what we get. A very similar thing for the SPY tracking the S&P 500, that the ceiling happens to be right at this this little low point that we have right here back on February 3rd of 2025. But we'll see if that's the ceiling that gets in that same area of chop that I talked about for the Qs, where last time we moved all around in a volatile way looking for where the all-time high was. We could potentially have that. I don't think we get that without finding out where the floor is as well in the meantime. So not saying that today is going to be red. I'm saying we're still looking for that ceiling. I don't know that we found it, but once we do find that ceiling, then it becomes about finding the floor. And I think that floor is going to be higher. Once again, the gap that we see down here, this gap that I have labeled here for you, that will get filled eventually. I don't know if it's anytime soon. We'll see. The market does have its way of filling gaps. It coincides with the 200-day moving average, that orange line that comes right across here. IWM looking very pretty right now, also having a gap that needs to be filled down here, and also pretty much tied with this previous high that we had going back to March the 25th. And we'll see breaking up above that and sitting on top of that line that I have across here for support for you, right around 209, just north of 209. We want to be watchful for that. So sitting on top of 209, 210 with a full candle above it on good volume. We're not in overbought territory yet for the Russell 2000 stocks tracked by IWM here. Absolutely fill that gap, and now let's get us to sit on top of that so we can see that next leg of the bull run. Easy monetary policy and continued low inflation are going to do wonders for IWM, for those Russell 2000 stocks. Nvidia, I talked about my stock price prediction, which by the way is 143.96 leading up to earnings. We need to sit on top of 134 in the pre-market hours. We're actually right at that line that I said that we needed to get to. I talked about 133 and change. It's about 133.72 as I have this on here. The pre-market's covering up the exact number that I need here. I said watch for resistance around that area. The pre-market right now might find that as a temporary ceiling. Come back, test for a floor. We'll find out where that is. This is an intraday sort of idea, and then maybe that gives us that springboard. There's a lot of reasons to be excited for the earnings coming up for Nvidia that didn't exist a few days ago, a few weeks ago. So with Nvidia, if we have some deregulation with the trade sanctions with China, that's a huge thing for a revenue driver, and they have a high margin business as well. So that also means high translation to the bottom line, which kind of helps out that growth story that we have for Nvidia. And then we've seen that play out from the $85 per share back up to the 133. I said Nvidia will not stay a 2-digit stock for very long. We made it right back into the 3 digits in a matter of days. So guys, we got pretty much that 133 we're looking for. We want to sit on top of, we'll just call it 134 just to be safe. Sit fully on top of 134 to have that springboard up to this 143. For Tesla, 343, which is my price target, got hit this morning during the pre-market hours. So we actually hit that. We've already gotten there. Resistance, we want to sit on top of 351.82 to have further room to the upside. We could find a ceiling today temporarily. We'll watch and see. The momentum nearly overbought. Actually, as of yesterday, 70 is what we had. So 70.05 just at that overbought territory. And that was that one full movement that we got from this low that we had on April the 21st. To the peak that we had on April the 28th, and then settling to find the floor on May the 7th. And then we got a nice little rip coming off of that one. Watch for this area of resistance from 343 up to about 352. We need to sit on top of that to have that further launching point. There is a little bit of chop north of that into the low to mid 360s, but we do want to watch for that. The critical number that we're watching here is 352. Sit on top of that. We should be able to fight through the other stuff. We're going to have to watch and see. So guys, I talked to you about the Discord earlier, the thousands of members over there. I'm one of the panel experts. There's an entire team of us there dedicated to bringing our analyses, our technicals, whether it's crypto market, stock market, bond market, you name it. There's live trading that also takes place over at the Discord as well. You can sign up using the earner tier, gets you access to absolutely everything that it has to offer for just what equates to a little bit over $1 a day for just value that just keeps on returning to you in dividends through the information that's provided. And you guys can add that into your due diligence to find out the things that you want to be buying, the things that you want to be selling, you want to go long on, short on, you want to use options, stock, you name it. Like, that Discord is there for you waiting. It's got the bread bot to tell you when the major swings could be coming, whether up or down for your favorite stocks that are out there, or even your cryptos that are out there. Cryptos rely even more heavily on technicals, by the way. I share my technical analyses over at my expert channel that's over there at the Discord. And guys, I'd absolutely love to see you over there. It's a positive community there to support each other through the journey for financial freedom and also adding alpha to our portfolios. So guys, links in the description. Like I said, let's get back into the charts. So popping this back up here for you, going to jump over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin was in a rising wedge pattern, which could be a bearish reversal pattern, but we popped out of the top of that, which is a very bullish thing. This potential that we have new all-time highs coming, we're going to have to watch and see if that momentum can hold out. We do have resistance that starts around 106.5 and then goes up to just over 107. We need to close above 109.356. This is the number that you want to be watching here, and I have right there, it is 109.356. If we can sit on top of the 107, then 109.356 should be in sight. We've never sat on top of that. That was something that we always got rejected off of or sold down below. Sitting on top of 109.356 opens up the next price tag that we're looking at, that we have some resistance around 114, but then again around 120. So I do think that we have that $120,000 price tag coming for us for Bitcoin, and it could be in the near future. Having this these two trend lines as support for us is huge. There's some pretty massive resistance that happens all the way up until that 109.356. So be on the lookout for that. XRP closed up above the 250 number that I said. Above that, we should have a free range to run up to 287. We're going to be watchful for that as well. The technical is a little bit messy on here, so that's why I had them hidden. But I will tell you, there's that 287 number, my XRP price prediction that I have on here for you. We could make that SUI. Man, oh man, we hit the $4 mark. I said watch for that hesitation around 4. That could hold out for us. We need to sit on top of 419 is the number that we want to be watchful for. So yeah, we got resistance around $4.10, but 419 is that number we want to sit on top of to bring out my SUI price prediction of 496, almost 497. Need to be watchful for that. Ethereum, big thing for Ethereum. If we're going to get that $3,300 price tag, we need to get on top of that 200-day. That is the thing that we're fighting right now that's keeping us from getting on top of that. And if we do, right there it is, the numbers that I put out for you, where we find that massive resistance above the 200-day, it happens to be right at 32.54 all the way up to 33.83. So just go about the middle, and I call it a 3,300. And that would also be based on this most recent movement that we saw from this nice little flagpole here going across. And it's actually starting to broaden out on us a little bit. You can actually see that. Let me turn on the magnet tool there. There we go. Now, mind you, we don't have enough information yet that it's going like this, but still, if we can get on top of that 200-day, I think that we have a further run to do for Ethereum, and we definitely want to be watching Bitcoin to find out if Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs. Giddy up for the altcoins, my friends, because they should also continue to rally as well. But remember what I said about the NASDAQ 100, about the S&P 500, about the Russell 2000s. It's all about floors and ceilings. So while we're still looking for where that ceiling's at, it actually seems like crypto has already found a temporary ceiling for us, looking for the floor next. And as those floors continue to climb, they can more easily reach higher ceilings. And then what we're looking for the stock market, we're finding out where that ceiling is potentially today, maybe sometime this week. I can't imagine it's going to go on too much longer before it starts to want to know, okay, yeah, we got stopped here for the ceiling. The bears are holding the line at the moment where the bull's going to come in and hold that floor for us. So that's what I'm watching for. That's what I'm bringing out over at the Discord, along with your favorite plays that are over there, Nvidia and Tesla being two of them, but just a whole lot more value that you could ever dream of that's over there. Trade wins popping off all the time, 33% captured on an NVDA play, which is a 2x leverage play on Nvidia. And man, that one, for anybody who did their due diligence and wanted to follow along with the technicals that I was doing, if they didn't get stopped out like I did, then man, they probably snagged at least a 2x so far out of that, and is still running as of this morning. So guys, keep your eyes peeled, keep on watching, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Come on over and join us at the Discord if you want to learn to do the technical analysis yourself so you can better follow the things that I do. And if you also want to learn about the bread recipe trading strategy that I personally use, or the options that I trade with, you guys can learn about how to do all of those things using the coursework through Stockmo Academy. He's a personal friend of mine, put together some airtight courses that are easy to digest, small pieces, but man, once again, they have the potential to pay back in dividends. That link down in the description for Stockmo Academy for those courses. If you bundle the courses, you save a ton. And if you use the code word DOCTOR for any combination of those courses that you do, an individual course or bundling the courses, that's going to save you a ton more. Once again, that code word is DOCTOR, DOCTOR, and that is all down there in the description for you. Let me know what you think down in the comments for this video as well. What are you watching? Or do you like Nvidia? Do you like Tesla? Are we going to see a ceiling sometime soon? Are they going to keep on blasting off? What do you think about earnings coming up for Nvidia? What about the cryptos that are out there as well? Are you bullish on those cryptos? Guys, hit those links. Hit me up in the comments. Don't forget about that subscribe button. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.